Hello, Michael here from Small Robot Studio with another Renderman 23 tutorial. Today we're going to be having a look at how to apply animating textures to a mesh or anything really, but we're going to put it on a mesh. So what I've got to put on is just a some video that I've rendered out already. It doesn't matter what you're working with, but because I'm using this plane, I'm just going to make sure that my aspect ratio of the plane is the same as what the video was, which was 1920 by 1080, so it just needs to be 16:9. So you could just make it 16 by 9, and I'll rotate that so it's standing up, and we'll also put a light in the scene so you can see it. Alright, so we've got the light in, we've got the plane. Let's apply texture to it. So we'll select it, we will assign a Pixar surface shader, and then we'll just jump into the hypershade editor, and I'm just going to dock that there. Okay, so let's map out the Pixar surface and assign a texture. So hit tab, type in PXR texture, and you'll have a texture node, and we'll run the result RGB into the diffuse color. Okay, so to add our frame range in, we're going to go to open, and we're going to select one of our frames in the frame sequence. So you can see I've got 24 frames here. I've separated these 24 frames out. Now it's going to look at the file name, and that's going to determine which files it's going to bring in as the sequence. So if you've rendered out 100 frames, you only want 10, make sure you segregate them either in a separate file path or with a different name. So I'm going to open that up, and what you'll get here is the file path. And what we want to change is this part here. We need to pay attention to our frame padding. So the frame padding is the number of digits that we are using to define what frame it is. In this case it's frame 50, and the frame padding is 4, which is 0050, 4 digits to determine the frame number. If it was 3, it would be 050 for 50. So we are going to change that to open bracket F4 for a frame padding of 4. Hit enter, and if we run an IPR, what will happen is if you look here in the script editor, you'll notice that the frames started to be converted by Renderman automatically. That just happens when you do an IPR. So I'll just skip forward once this is all converted so you can see it in action. Okay, so that conversion is finished, and what you can see here now, if I just render in the viewport, you can see that it is working. I can actually rotate around the image, obviously. You can use whatever image you want. However, because of the frame number that I started on, this starts on frame 50. If I go to 49, you'll see that there's no image there because there's no image association. So just bear that in mind when you add your frame range in. So you can see there it starts on 50, and then if we move forward, you can see the animation happening with the character in that sequence. So that's all there is to it. Hopefully that tutorial was useful for you guys out there. I just had a question about this earlier in the week, and I thought I'd just help that subscriber out by showing others how to do it as well. That's it for this tutorial. If you found it useful, make sure you leave a like so other people can find it. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe, as we're bringing out CG and illustration tutorials every week, just like this one. Become a patron and access tutorial assets, bonus content, a private Discord, and more by clicking the link below.